Watch this guy. I watch him before I watch anybody.
I was just sitting here in my underwear.
He was just sitting there in his underwear.
Can you hear me okay?
Good morning. It is a Monday, and we are just got the baler hooked up. Probably start eating. If it doesn't rain, everything holds off. We'll probably start tomorrow afternoon, open up a field, just try it, cut one load. My brother has some work to do to the baler, so he will be doing that today. So we just got her hooked up. It's a big farm of wheat right there. It's just about ready. That was actually the first that we planted. I figured that all that would go first, but he's thinking that the stuff in the back is just going to go. This field right here needs rain. Rain. We need some rain. We had some rain come through, but we missed it. It went, split us like it always does. I guess that's started now where it's going to start splitting us. So that kind of sucked, but they're calling for rain this week, like 3 or 4 days of it. So I'd rather not cut wheat and get the rain. If it doesn't rain, we're going to cut. There's more wheat. But if it rains, it'll be a blessing on this corn, because this field right here is actually starting to, there's a sand hill right here. It's a bad sand hill too. It's starting to welt up a little bit. It's holding it pretty good everywhere else. This right here was the last field that I had planted also. This was a veg field. But this sand hill right here is starting to welt up. You can see it right there pretty bad. Right on this section right here is where it's at. And then of course there's a, I'll show the good and the bad. There's a, that's part of the sand hill right there that unless you get water, it ain't worth a crap. Because if you look at the rest of the field, it's beautiful. This one spot right here is just horrible. And then if you come off the sand hill, as you can see, there's sand hill. And then look, it just goes to awesome looking corn. So you can do 200 and some bushel corn in that field. You hit these sand hills, it makes your overall on that field go down horrible. We need to put, we got the well, everything approved. We don't know why we haven't got the okay for the pivot. Start over here with a pivot and put one over here, and then on that back field there'll be 3 pivots on this farm. It'll all run off that same 12-inch well. From AgriGold, boy that you saw on previous videos in Somerset County. Get up with him. He sells AgriGold, and the stuff we planted so far has looked awesome. I mean, the corn and the soybeans. First year we've done it, looks good. So he's gonna be bringing us some more beans out today, some more enlist beans. Taking her up to the farm slow because we got to get an impact to tighten the hitch bolt up, and we didn't have the fitting for the impact in the pickup because who knows where that's at. So we got it on there. We're going to take her up to the shop, tighten her down tight. But getting things ready today, I done moved the header, got it out, greased it, moved it. Combine's ready. Now we got to get the baler ready. Be good to go. Corn looks good. Of course, we could use a rain. Some of the sand hills are starting to curl up a little bit. It's a pretty little corner field. the shop, do some work. And I'll show you. Here's a good looking cornfield right here. 108-day sea consultant. And in the drought we had last year, the sea consultant corn, right here last year, same variety. Even though we didn't get rain for 58 days, it went 188 bushels. It was our top performing corn. That's with no rain for, what, 2 months? And it still did 188 bushels. I mean, that is just, I mean, look at it. That is pretty. Taller than me now. Of course, you got a couple spots on this end, but this is where we're always driving with the trailers. It's harder ground here. First couple rows ain't gonna make, they're gonna make, but they ain't, you know, you get out to the third row on, man. Looks good. We have the airplane sitting on a runway because dumbass Biden came to Delaware. Biden came to Delaware, so they put a new no-fly zone up, and there's a bunch of farmers that needed to spray some of their ground, and they wouldn't let them take off, so they ended up bringing it here from, they got 3 or 4 planes. They got planes sitting over there that they can't even use because dumbass Biden is in town. And they got a no-fly zone, so even the crop dusters, the farmers have to suffer because Biden's in town on Father's Day or vacation or who the hell knows. I mean, I don't know how you're a proud father of Hunter Biden. I mean, he's a drug dealing piece of shit that's corrupt. But anyway, they brought the airplane out, so if they had to do something, they were able to do it in the area outside the fly zone. So they got a bunch of planes sitting over there that they can't take off with because they won't let them take off because he's in town. And my thing is, who the hell gives a shit about Biden? Biden's a piece of shit idiot. If he died or something happened to him, nobody cares. Yes, he's their fake president because it's a corrupt system that put him there, but and it's just ridiculous. And our country's been infiltrated. The government that's our government isn't our government. It's other countries. All right, so we got another fine delivery of AgriGold soybeans. I just unloaded and list. John from AgriGold has brought them up here. And last time I videoed you, I messed up. You were small and I didn't have it set right. I got it set right now. So tell people where, if they need wheat beans at, where they can get some. If you're running short on beans, we still have beans to get. I'm John Ring, serve Western Wycomico, Somerset, Accomack County. You can get up in touch with me with 443-944-5271. And they actually, the beans that we planted from them were actually the best looking beans we have so far. Wow. Even the Dyna-Gro that Nutrient brought out. Yours is like, looks good as, I mean, really good.
I told you they were good.
Well, I don't know what they're going to yield yet, but they look good so far. And it's actually on new sandy ground that we just picked up 100 and some acres, 120 acres, and we put them there, and I mean, they really look, I mean, damn good. So he brought us some, what did you say they were, 4.3s?
Yeah, they're 4.3 enlist beans.
Yeah, because we had some 4.4s and 4.6s, I think, is what we had. So, but anyway, hit him up, he left you the number, so at least just buy a box from them, try it out, you know. So that's what we did this year. So I mean, they look good, they look damn good. So, and even the corn that he gave us, what was it, 115 day?
115 day.
Yeah, it even looks good.
Yeah, that was the state winner last year for NCGA contest for the state of Maryland.
So there you go. So everything looks good. So just give him a call, buy something from him. He just got married. I'm sure he needs money now.
I need money.
Yeah, he needs money. That's a working man right there, boy. I'm riding around on the, whatever this thing's called, Rizzo today. Over to Rizzo. He's doing a fine job. All right, so we're getting a nice little rain shower right now. That's the vetch corn. This right here is the first field that I planted. As you can see how tall it is. All the way down. So everybody told me that I was on my knees. So there you go. Standing up. These first inrows, a little weak. But if you look behind me, that's how tall the corn is. So that's the exact spot I was standing in last week when I took the picture when it was right up to my neck. So look how much taller it's gotten in a week. I mean, that's what, 2 foot above my head once you get out there off of these first couple inrows. So yeah, that's pretty tall corn, and it's all the way down. So, and the reason why this inrow, the first inrow right here, is shorter is because it's on one of our lanes that take us back to the woods. And I'm assuming that the ground's a little bit harder right here. I mean, it's still beautiful corn, look at it, but it is just a little bit shorter, as you can see, than it goes out. So we do a lot of driving back here. I'm assuming that it's compaction or something. But that lets me know I need to do something about that. But if you look, that is tall corn. And it's drizzling. It's been drizzling for several hours. It's kind of nice because we got a this nice drizzle has got the ground soft, so if we do get rain, it's absorbing it real nice because it has been dry for quite some time. So just wanted to show you all that corn. Boy, this rain has really woke it up. We needed rain. They had about an inch a mile away the other day. We watched it, and our neighbor Mikey, give a shout out to Mikey. He videoed it and sent me a video. It was sunny here, and a mile down the road it was just pouring. I think they got an inch in like 20 minutes. It was crazy. Now our farther northern or western farms, those west farms, they got the rain. We got corn and some beans back there. It's probably what, 15, 20, 60. So probably about 275, 300 acres worth of ground did get that rain. But the rest of it didn't up here where we got our bulk of our corn at, but it's getting rain now. It needed it. It was getting close to where it wasn't turning, but we did have one sandhill that I showed you was turning just a little bit. But this should solve that problem. I think it's supposed to rain for 2 or 3 days straight like this. So that's going to be great. So I hope everybody gets rain. I hope Wesley gets some rain. But we're getting rain now. We needed it. And I mean, everything's looking good. If we can just keep getting little showers like this here and there and not going 50 days without it, hopefully everything will turn out good. We need a good year. So, yeah, let's hope so. So anyway, just wanted to show you how tall the corn is getting. And, well, here's the last corn that I planted, really. One of the last fields is right here. And as you can see, it's as tall as, no, it's taller than the pickup actually. But it looks really good. This was the vetch field right here. One of the vetch fields. This right here is at Dad's farm. Looks really good. I mean, really good, really healthy, real dark corn. Yeah, so just thought I'd show you that. I'm on my way down to John Deere. I got to return a sensor that they want that didn't work, so I'm going to close the ticket out. But yep, everything's looking good. It does seem like my inroads, like the first 4 or 5, are weak. And I don't know if it's from compaction. Of course, we do take the ripper and we rip some of the inroads on some of the fields because we know we have some compaction, you know, where the combine, the trucks, everything goes, and you know, every year that clearly adds up. But I don't know if I should bump my rate up on my nitrogen on my inrows versus the regular field. I think that would definitely improve it, because there's some farms that I see that have telephone poles on the inrows, and my nozzles for my sprayer, when I do my nitrogen application, I can't put it all the way on it. I could put it on the very end one, but that actually goes with the whole other section because I only run 60 foot instead of 100 foot. And I'm thinking I got to go in an extra nozzle body and put one of my drips on that, because when I get to a telephone pole, if I kept it on the end, I would be where I plan to go around. I would probably hit the pole, so I always go in a row on my sprayer and run it like that. Plus, like I said, when you put it on the other one, it's the end one is actually on the whole section that I keep folded in on my sprayer. And I did try it one year so I could get 2 more rows out of the application, one on each end. But what I found is when my swap control shuts it off after I do my end rows and I get going on my regular rows, when I come to them back into my end rows, and it shuts the sprayer off. Well, I guess the nitrogen fills up that whole boom on both sides, and as I'm turning around, I can see it dribbling, like it just runs out of them in tubes. Well, I'm wasting a lot of it, and we could tell by my tank was getting emptier a lot quicker than what my monitor was saying. And come to find out, that was the reason. So I stopped putting them on the far end of the 60 foot. I go in another nozzle body. So when I go around, you can see it. I can see it on all the cornfields I got where there's telephone poles. Normally when there's no telephone poles, I'll put the last nozzle on each side on the outside of that row, and it feeds it. But when there's telephone poles, because I got an extra 30 to 40 inches sticking out before you get to the nozzle, I can't run that last nozzle on each side all the way on the other side of the row. So I have to come in a row, and a lot of my outside rows where there's telephone poles aren't getting fed the extra nitrogen, and you can see they're a lot weaker. So I'm thinking next year with the planter, I'm going to have to bump the rate up on the ends where there is telephone poles. When I make that first pass around the field, I'll bump my rate up so that when I come back and I can't get it, it's already got enough nitrogen and supplements there to feed them outside rows. I've been noticing on a lot of the fields that have that. So I'm going to, you don't think about it until after you plant the corn, it comes up and you see it. So I'm going to have to, next year, I know mentally in my head that I'm going to have to bump my rate up on that first ends, and that way I got enough nitrogen there to hold it, and then I'll put it back to the regular rate once I do my first pass. But just something I've noticed, something I've learned. This year was the first year with the 2x2, and the new planter that we had. So the way the corn looks, planter did an excellent job. I did have a little bit of problems. I think the ground was a little hard getting through some of the thick no-till stuff, but I think I need to bump my down pressure up more on that, or wait till we have a decent rain and give it a day or two after the ground's still soft, and I think that it'll help it push through a little bit more that way. But just thinking, I'm already thinking for next year, and the corn's only half grown now, but I'm just got everything rolling what we need to do. I don't know, just thinking. So I'll show you this farm of soybeans up here. This is one of the farms that got that inch rain the other day, so I'll show you this one. But these beans are just about, if you look down there, they're just about closing up. If they're not, probably after this rain, they will close up. But they're pretty stout. They look really good. And the bulk of our beans are through that gap over there. but not too shabby. Not too shabby. Now these are, I think these are half enlist, and then some of this side is Plenish because we did have some Plenish beans left over from last year box that we planted. So, but yeah, they look pretty good. There's this wet spot. You remember when I planted it? Need to do something about that wet spot. That's one of the only parts on the farm now. This is the beaver farm. That's one of the only parts on the farm now that is wet, and we got to do something about it. We got this farm pretty good, and the beans look good. Oh, the ditches are full. I mean, the beans look excellent. And we got another little patch up here. There's that one wet spot. We need to figure out what to do. And then I think this wet spot up here in this bottom, we got it pretty good, but I think there's just, I think we can put a trench in and solve this problem to this ditch and make this, we pretty much got this farm pretty good compared to what it used to be. But there's a wet spot right here in this corner where the water lays right here. I think if we just run a trench to this ditch right here, I think it'll work out well. I did bring the hoe over and I made that little trench, and you wouldn't believe how much it drained all that water off of this bottom area. But this whole farm right here is Plenish. But they look good considering they were leftover beans. But yeah, they look really nice. But they're back in the woods, surrounded by nothing but woods. So the deer, well, if it was a normal year without that disease we had last year that killed a bunch of deer, they'd probably be eating the hell out of them beans. But where we did have that disease last year, we haven't had the deer damage like you normally would. Now my farm, my back field where I got corn at, I did notice they were eating the first couple of inroads pretty good when it dry, but I'm thinking because they were trying to get water. But the corn's so tall now that you can't see back there. But I know our neighbor, there's a hidden field back in the woods that we don't own, and our neighbor I think he planted soybeans back there, and they've been shooting and shooting. I think they've done shot 12 or 15 deer back there on that. So that kind of helps my side out because it's only like a 40-yard patch of woods that separates it. And they're out on them beans now pretty good. They've been shooting the heck out of them deer back there. So that'll definitely help my side out. So I'll go show you these other beans up here. And then I'm going to go to John Deere. It's Wednesday and we've had that storm come through that did all the stuff in the south. We got rain, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of an inch, It's drizzling right now, you can't really see it. But it's windy, it's like 30-40 mile an hour winds. There you can see them trees there. I mean, it's really windy. I'm hiding behind the house right now. Threw my ladder over. Look at the pole flag bending. Tell me that's not windy. I need to lower it so it don't break it. Last flag pole broke. I had 2 flags on there. I learned to just put one, so hopefully that one will hold up. But here's what the veg corn looks like. I'm in my Crocs, so I don't really want to walk out here too far, but give you an idea. It's just about up to me right now. It's some of the last we planted. It's blowing. Let's just hope it stays up, but that's a 108 day. I like them great big leaves. Somebody said the bigger the leaves are, the better it is because it gets better sunlight. Of course, I don't know that or not. I don't know. Hope the pole don't blow away. Anyway, I needed to just show you guys that. The weather, it's still drizzling. They're calling for more rain tonight, tomorrow. Actually, they're calling for it the rest of the week and then some in the next week. We do have wheat that is ready, but we were going to start cutting yesterday, but the weather put a damper in it. But I'd rather get the rain because we were getting dry. So at least the corn will be turned on a little bit and the beans while we are getting some wheat out. So that's good. Get a couple more rains the next couple of days. That'll hold that corn for a little while. It'll really cause a growth spurt, but it looks pretty good, as you can see. Looks good. So anyway, like, subscribe, share, and watch my boy One Lonely Farmer. He finally did a live for an hour. We need to get 5 videos a week from him. Hour apiece. That'd be perfect. See you.